Did you know that a person's greatness is shaped by their thoughts? This isn't just a motivational quote. It's a timeless truth proven time and again by the lives of successful people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos. Napoleon Hill, in his famous book Think and Grow Rich, put it perfectly. What you think about, you become. But if that's true, why do so many people struggle to find success? Is it because they don't think about their future? Or do they simply overlook their own potential? Today's story will answer these questions and teach you a powerful life lesson. Along the way, you'll also learn a few new English words. So, stick with us until the end, guys. Promise this story will be worth your time. Once, at a bustling railway station, there lived a beggar. Every single day, he survived by asking passengers for alms as they waited for their trains. His life was a monotonous cycle of asking and receiving just enough to get by. One sunny afternoon, he noticed a well-dressed businessman stepping onto the platform. The man wore an expensive suit and walked with an air of confidence that commanded attention. The beggar immediately thought to himself, "This man must be incredibly wealthy. If I ask him, he will surely give generously." With a flicker of hope, the beggar approached the businessman and stretched out his hand, expecting a coin or two. But what happened next was completely unexpected. Instead of giving him money, the businessman looked at him calmly and asked, "Do you only take from others? Or have you ever given something to anyone?" The beggar was shocked. No one had ever asked him such a question before. Confused and a little flustered, he replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I survive by asking for alms. I have nothing to give." He felt a mix of shame and bewilderment. His entire identity was built on receiving, not giving. The businessman smiled slightly, a knowing look in his eyes. He said, "If you believe you have nothing to give, then you also have no reason to ask. I believe in exchange. If you can offer something, I can give you something in return. But if you offer nothing, then neither can I." With those powerful words, the businessman boarded his train, leaving the beggar standing there on the platform, stunned. The businessman's words echoed in his mind long after the train disappeared from view. If you believe you have nothing to give, then you have no reason to ask. The sentence replayed over and over again. That night, he couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, the conversation haunting him. For the first time in his life, he began to question his own existence. Was he truly just a person who only takes? The businessman's philosophy of exchange, if you want to receive, you must first give, was a concept he had never considered. 2 whole days passed. During this time, the beggar didn't ask anyone for money. He couldn't bring himself to do it. Instead, he spent his time sitting by the tracks, lost in deep thought, wrestling with the new idea that had been planted in his mind. On the 3rd day, as he sat near the railway tracks, his eyes fell upon some wildflowers blooming nearby. Their bright, vibrant colors caught his attention. They were beautiful, yet they grew freely, unnoticed by most of the hurried passengers. And suddenly an idea sparked in his mind. What if I offer something in return? He thought, what if I give people a flower when they give me money? It was a simple idea, but it felt revolutionary. He wouldn't just be taking anymore. He would be participating in an exchange. He carefully picked a small bouquet of the prettiest flowers and returned to his usual spot on the platform. He was nervous, but also felt a strange sense of excitement he hadn't felt in years. When the next passenger gave him a coin, instead of just nodding, he smiled and offered a flower in return. The passenger was surprised, but then a smile spread across their face. They accepted the flower happily. Some people even stopped to thank him. As the days passed, something remarkable started to happen. More and more people began giving him money. He noticed a clear pattern. Whenever he had flowers to offer, people gave generously, often more than he used to receive. But when he ran out of flowers for the day, the donations slowed down to a trickle. That's when he truly understood the lesson the businessman had tried to teach him. People value exchange. They weren't just giving him charity anymore. They were engaging in a transaction. They were getting something beautiful in return for their kindness. One day, weeks later, he saw a familiar face sitting on a train waiting to depart. It was the businessman. Filled with excitement and a newfound sense of pride, the beggar hurried over to him. "Sir," he said, his voice steady and clear, Today I have something to give. If you give me money, I will give you these flowers in return. He held out a vibrant bouquet. The businessman smiled warmly, handed him a crisp banknote far more than a simple coin, and graciously accepted the flowers. You have understood the value of exchange, he said, his voice filled with approval. Today, you are no longer just a beggar, you are a businessman. Those words changed everything. They struck him with the force of a lightning bolt. You are a businessman. The beggar realized something incredibly powerful at that moment. People weren't giving him money out of pity anymore. They were paying for what he offered. He was providing value, and they were compensating him for it. He wasn't a charity case. He was an entrepreneur. That very day he made a bold decision. He gathered his few belongings, left the railway station, and never returned as a beggar again. His old life was over. A new one was just beginning. 6 months later, at that very same station, two well-dressed men met on the platform. They were both waiting for their respective trains, and they shook hands as they passed each other. One of the men, the businessman from our story, paused and looked at the other with a curious expression. "Do I know you?" he asked, a sense of familiarity nagging at him. The other man smiled broadly. "Yes," he replied. "We've met here before twice. In fact," suddenly, a flash of recognition lit up the businessman's face. You were the beggar, the one who started selling flowers." He could hardly believe the transformation. The man laughed, a sound full of confidence and joy. "Yes, that was me. But today, I run a successful flower business, and I'm traveling to another city to expand it." The businessman was completely amazed. "What changed?" he asked, genuinely curious about the incredible journey the man had taken. The flower seller looked him in the eye and replied, "You taught me one of life's greatest lessons. We receive only when we give. But more than that, you helped me see myself differently. I was never just a beggar, I was a businessman all along. I just needed to start thinking like one." They shook hands again, not as a wealthy man and a poor beggar, but us equals to successful businessmen. Then they boarded their separate trains, each heading toward their bright futures. This story teaches us a profound truth. Our life is shaped by how we see ourselves. If you believe you are small, you will act small, and your world will remain small. But the moment you recognize your own potential and start to believe in the value you can offer, everything changes. Your thoughts create your reality. So, change your thoughts and you will change your future. If this story inspired you, please like the video, share it with others who might need to hear this message, and tell us what you learned in the comments below. We love reading your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.